I'm going to introduce Zack right now to all you guys, to our Giants family. Zack Granite is a Staten Island native who now lives over by us here in Monmouth County. Zack was a Seton Hall center fielder, played at Seton Hall on a very, very good team in 2011 that won the Big East Championship, and on another team in 2013 where he was the leadoff guy on that team also. They were outstanding, and they finished up at the end of the season winning 37 out of their last 47 games, which is incredible. Zack went on to play professional baseball in the Minnesota Twins in the minor leagues. Zack really honed his skills, moved up, and had a chance to play in the big leagues with the Twins. He was traded last year to the Rangers, played AAA with the Texas Rangers, and is now a New York Yankee, where he just came out of spring training when it got halted, as you guys were halted with your practices and tryouts for grade school and high school. So let's welcome Zack in. And Zack, thank you for joining us, buddy. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk baseball, man. Any day I get to talk baseball is a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We loving this. You know, we really have gotten a chance to spend some time talking baseball just about each day. You know, not that every one of our players were able to get on each call, but they've been able to get on a lot of them. You know, we usually have 30 to 50 different players on the call with us. So they're eager to hear from you. They're eager to learn a little bit. You know, tonight we'll talk a little baseball timeline, you know, your travels through baseball, whether it be when you were younger all the way to where you are now. And we also talk a little bit about outfield play, some of the things you may have learned, some of the things you like to work on and do, and even a little bit about hitting, you know, and anything you want to do. You know, don't hesitate to pick on me if you want. That's okay. I'm here. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah,
all right?
I'm ready.
So give us a start. Tell us a little bit about where you came from before you got to Seton Hall.
Okay, so I'm from Staten Island, New York. I played Little League for the YMCA. I played summer ball for my dad kind of growing up till I was about 14, till I got to about high school. So I used to be a three-hole hitter, if you believe that. But for those of you who don't really know my style of play, I've been a leadoff hitter now since probably high school. But when I was in playing Little League, I used to hit in the three-hole and pitch. But now primarily center field and leading off. But you know, just kind of growing up, I've always played with my older brother, so I kind of always play with older competition, and really feel like that helped me as I got older and started playing with kids my own age. I was already at an advantage almost. I was probably 15, 16 years old playing in a men's league team with my brother, facing guys that played pro ball. With a wood bat, you know, at 16 years old, you know, that's an advantage I had. You know, I wake up, my brother's friends who were all, you know, 19, 20, 21. And I would face like guys that coming back from pro ball and stuff like that are retired or didn't make it, but still seeing that type of pitching at that young of age really helped me out and helped me in high school. And I went to Tottenville High School, where my brother also went, and he was a starting center fielder when I was a freshman, and they won the city championship when he was a senior, and it was pretty cool. When I was a senior, I was the starting center fielder as well, and we ended up winning the city championship as well. And cool little story, out of high school, my senior year, we won the city championship for New York. I went to Seton Hall. My first year there, we won the Big East championship, and then I played summer ball that year as well, and I won my summer ball championship as well. So 3 championships in 1 year, which is pretty unheard of.
Yeah, that's fantastic to be able to do all that in 1 year. You know, there's 2 things I want to go over with you right now, really quick. One is just a simple question, because we don't have in New Jersey the wood bat rule for high school players, and it was instituted when you were in high school, right? You played with a wood bat in high school, right? You had to. It was mandatory, right? So what was that like? What was the difference in that, like that feeling?
It was different. I mean, you definitely saw it in the competition. Just guys aren't obviously as strong, and the middle bat helps because it wasn't the BB core, you know, like it is now. It was like the old metal bat, so the ball kind of jumped off those bats. But we went to wood. There was a lot of pitching duels. We actually won the city championship 1-0 in 9 innings, which we play 7 in high school. So on a bunt. So it really helped me, and it helped me going into college because of that small ball factor. In college, you do a lot of that sacrifice, bunt them over. And I was doing that in high school, and some guys struggle with that. And it just kind of helped me become the player I am a little bit earlier than other guys had to adjust. So for me, as soon as we went to Wood, I became the player I am today, and I really haven't changed much. Like, when I was hitting with you, just kind of working on some things mentally and some things just improving my game. But it was a big difference going from metal to wood, especially at such a young age. But I'm kind of glad it happened, because being able to hit with wood, I felt like I said, I was playing with kids older than me, getting that competition where other guys weren't seeing, and playing with wood. I feel like I had a way bigger advantage doing that before anybody else did.
Yeah, I guess you would say, it helped you get prepared for, the next level even sooner.
Yeah, 100%.
During the summers, our older guys, our older high school players that we have, a bunch of them are on the call right now, our older guys are familiar with playing with wood during the summer and playing with metal during the high school season, wood during the summer. Your summers, and we have a bunch of guys on the call that have played over at the Richmond County Baseball Complex against RCBC and the tournaments there, whether it be with their teams or any other teams. So we're familiar with that complex. We like that complex. We like going over there. It's actually a pretty easy ride for the parents. Might be a little bit on the toll on the bridge, cost a little bit, but we love that complex. Nick Defendis, and all the great people he's got over there running that complex. We like to go over there, and that's where I guess you played in the summer, right? That was your team, right?
Yeah, I played for Nick. We had a really good relationship, me and him, and we had a really good team. I mean, I played with John Franco. A couple guys went Division I pitching, and we had a pretty solid team. I remember my first time I went over there. For me being from Staten Island, it was so easy for that commute. And I don't, I know the toll, how much the toll is, because having to pay that. But Nick has a great program over there too as well. And that field, I mean, it's nice, especially it's pretty much was in my backyard. Now it's only a 30-minute ride, but he does a good job over there.
That's great. So moving on to get to Seton Hall, take us right now in that process. We've had different guests come on, whether they be coaches or players, just talking about in general the transition from high school to college, some of the recruiting process. On your end, it would be obviously the recruiting process, why you made a decision from one place to another, and how you ended up at Seton Hall, becoming a Seton Hall Pirate. And it was obviously a really good thing. It turned out to be great for you.
Yeah, well, I know I wanted to stay close to home, and I wanted to play at the highest baseball level I possibly could. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go at first. I was looking at, colleges close. I looked at Keene University because I knew they had a really good baseball school. They were a really good baseball program. I was looking at Rutgers, which Rutgers was my number one choice, but you didn't want me, so that's on you. I was looking at St. John's, and I was looking at Seton Hall. And, St. John's, they just got Jimmy Brennan, who was a year older than me, and he was coming off just getting drafted out of high school, and they weren't really looking at me. So I kind of crossed them off my list. And I know we talked about this. It was between me and Brian O'Grady, and you guys went with Brian O'Grady. So, it was just like another cross off the list. And, when I played in front of Seton Hall, I did so well. And I loved that campus, man, just being right there, like in, center of the campus is that baseball field, and just the vibe. And just, I remember when I was out there with RB, he's like, this is a really big outfield we got. And, that excites me, because I'm not that I'm a defensive player, but I take pride in my defense. I'm a very, very top level defensive player, and I take pride in that. And I just remember looking and smiling at that outfield like, wow, yeah, I could take a lot of hits away. And because I love that, so that's part of my game, and that's part of my mentality, in my personality in baseball. I love to annoy people. I love to show people like RB, Coach Shepard always talks about, you want that guy on your team. And that's the mentality I always kind of brought into my game. And just choosing Seton Hall, it ended up being a no-brainer for me. And honestly, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. I met my wife there, played really good baseball, and just the culture and the players that Coach Shepard brings in. My best friends went to Seton Hall now. So, like I said, it ended up being the best decision I've ever made. And it's I'm always bleeding blue, man. Seton Hall forever. So, it was just a really good decision for me. And it was probably the best 3 years of my life.
Yeah, it's proven to be. You can tell just hearing it in your voice, just talking to you a little bit about it tonight and then other days last week. You know that you made a great decision and you're happy with it. You feel good about it, and you have those brothers, as we call them,
Yeah.
for life. That group of guys that you were close to, that you had a chance to really experience those years, those young years in college together. And it's nothing like that. When you move on and get older, so you don't get to see everybody anymore. And when you move on, and even if it's at a baseball level, you ended up in minor league baseball, and then obviously you're with most everybody you don't know. It's the first go around with guys, and guys could be on the roster 1 week and gone the next, or guys could move along from season to season. And friendships take some time to develop.
Yeah.
So that does happen. That experience in minor league baseball. Tell me a little about that. Talk about that for us.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The first couple of years from 2013 to 2019, I was only with the Minnesota Twins, so I was pretty comfortable. And if I'm one of those, I'm a high energy personality player, but if 50 people know each other and you're the only one that does it, it's a little tough. So when I got traded over to the Rangers, it was a little bit of an adjustment for me. It was the first time I didn't know everybody. And it was just a little different. But I actually really ended up liking my teammates. I was in Nashville pretty much the whole season. I got called up for a couple of games. That was about it. And then they sent me back down to Nashville. But my teammates there, I still keep in touch with them. I learned a lot last year. I had some really good teammates, some older guys that I played with and got to talk to. And I just try to pick people's brains, because everybody's different, man. Everybody's got a different journey. Everybody's got a different story. Just a quick story. I played with Tim Dillard last year, and Tim Dillard, for those of you who don't know, he's been pitching in the minor leagues for like 17 years. So he's just got a ton of experience, and nobody grows up saying they want to be a minor league baseball player. Everybody's goal is to play in the big leagues. And I asked him how hard it is, that they keep picking people over him, because me and him actually won MVP for our team. We both got a really cool guitar. I'll show you with our faces on it. It's pretty cool. So it's just I just asked him, and the wisdom and how mature he was, and he's just like, listen, I love this game so much, and I'll do whatever it takes, and whatever they want me to do, I'm going to do. And he was probably the coolest and probably the best teammate I've ever had playing this game. And he just always says, just you never know what can happen at the baseball field. Every day can there's an opportunity for you to get better, an opportunity for you to make a play. And I learned a lot last year, and I've kind of brought that into this past year until obviously we're on hold right now. But playing last year with the Rangers organization was a good learn for me. It made me kind of uncomfortable, and I learned how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because I had to meet so many new faces in such a short amount of time, because I got traded during spring training. And so everybody was already kind of three weeks in, and I was the new guy. So I kind of had to learn everybody's name very quickly, and it ended up being a great experience for me.
Let us pick your brain a little bit on this one too. So I'm going to go with, you're comfortable being a guy at the top of the order, a leadoff guy, whether you're hitting the number 1 or 2 spot, you're comfortable in that spot in the lineup. You hit left-handed, you run really, really fast, you play center field. Let me pick your brain on approach to hitting in the box, when you get in the box, and even even go into elaborate a little bit on what might change from one count to a next.
Yeah. So for me, oh, sorry, hold on. I was getting. Can you see me? We
Yeah, that
good?
looks good. I think maybe
Sorry.
you were getting a guitar.
Oh, sorry. No, no, no. I was getting a phone call. So for me, every I would say every situation is just different. Let's say I have a runner on first. I'm a lefty. I have a big open four hole. So I might try to move closer to the plate, maybe try to hook a ball in that four hole. Or if I'm leading off an inning, and they're giving, maybe the shortstop's playing up the middle more. I have like that whole six hole. So I'm very good with the bat. I have control of the barrel, I like to call it. Like I can control the barrel. So everything is kind of dictating how they play me is dictating how I'm going about this at bat. I'm very confident in line to line, and a lot of people aren't, which is an advantage for me. I could go left field line, I could go right field line. I try to play with the whole field, and it's pretty much just like I like to make it as like a deck of cards, like a handing cards. I have multiple hands that I can use because I could bunt, I could slap the ball the other way, I could hit a line drive in front of you, I could drive the ball over your head, and occasionally, I could sneak one out. So depending on the situation, and everything is different, and I think that everybody should hold all those cards. There's no reason why if the third baseman's back, you can't put down a base hit bunt. It's a free hit sometimes, and it'll help you along the run. And I think people don't realize that, like, oh no, I'm hitting three hole, I'm hitting 3-4, I'm not bunting here. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to get something going. It'll help other guys. Everything in baseball, I feel like, is contagious. Hitting is contagious. When guys get hot as a team, it's scary. But also, not hitting is contagious. So when you have that negative energy, you're bringing the team. Not only you're bringing yourself down, you're bringing the team down. And I think that is so important. I couldn't stress that enough. Energy is just extremely important in your plate appearance, in the outfield or in the infield, on the mound. Even as coaches standing in the third base box, sometimes you can just feel the energy of a coach, and how, if he has high energy, the players seem to kind of feed off each other. Everybody's feeding off each other in baseball. And but people sometimes don't realize that, and how like the negative energy can affect players. But going back to, for me in the box, everything is just dictated on the pitcher. If he's going to be throwing hard, like very hard, I'm probably going to stay in the back of the box. If I know he's got, a really good movement, I might move up in the box and try to catch it before it's at its nastiest part. If he's got, a really good sinker, I'm going to move up in the box. Why not? I mean, just because there's a batter's box there doesn't tell you, just because a lot of people stand in one spot doesn't mean that's the right spot. Doesn't mean you're going to get a hit because you're standing there. So I think just being comfortable in the batter's box, no matter if you're off the plate, on the plate, I like to move. I don't know. It's just what I like to do, just depending on the pitcher. So I think it's just important just being comfortable in the batter's box.
That's really, really good stuff. It's just, knowledge that these guys are absorbing, listening to you, absorbing it. And your energy gets everybody to want to just like go out right now. Let's get on the field. Like we're ready to go. I know you're pumped up, and this is great. The conversation is great to be able to speak to somebody that has gotten to the level you've gotten to, and you're sharing it with these guys. So even if they pick up one thing tonight, we've all gotten smarter. That's really my goal, in doing these sessions we've been doing. So, you talked about the situation when you're in the box. So for all of you guys, I'm going to throw this at Zach right now. It's kind of this. In other words, and what I'm hearing from you is the situation is what it is. So it's man on second, 2 outs, and you're in a 2-1 count. That's the situation. It's not going to change. That's what it is before the next pitch is thrown. But then you create the opportunity by the way you go about it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how they're shifting me. It depends on who's on the mound, how comfortable I am. Does he have a really good out pitch? If sometimes I might take a pitch if I know, this guy doesn't really have anything to strike me out with, or if he really does, I might be guessing at this next pitch and try to do damage on this next pitch, just depending on what the pitcher has. I think sometimes we as a player, hype up the at bat and give too much credit to the pitcher, and likewise for pitchers to hitters. And sometimes we don't even know what's going on. We're only thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about what he's thinking out there. So I think the whole.
Oh, you muted. Billy, I'll mute him. I'll mute him, Billy. You muted. You muted it. Come on, Billy. He muted. There it
You hear
is.
me?
That's better. There you go. Yeah, you muted by accident, probably.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
What was the last thing I said?
I don't know. The picture is out there. I'm trying to think of what the last thing you said.
Like just talking about how we get so into our own mind when we don't even know what the pitcher's thinking about. He could be thinking like, oh, don't walk this guy. Oh, my mechanics are all messed up. And I'm in my own head thinking, I got to get my foot down here. No, the mechanics need to be out of it. When you think, you're slow. You got to be able to play the game how it is. You do your drill work, everything you want to think when you're doing drills, that's totally fine. But when it's in the game, there's a guy standing 60 feet, 6 inches from you, and that's it. It's just you versus him. And I think that's the most important part, is just competing. And I've competed my whole life. I don't have the best swing in baseball. I don't have, I'm not 6'5". I don't look the best when I'm doing certain things, but I could promise you I'm competing every single pitch. I do not give up on anything. And I think that's why I've been successful and I've made it to the major leagues. Because I'm not impressive looking. I'm 5'9", 5'10", 170 pounds. I made it to the big leagues at 163 pounds. There's some 12-year-olds that are bigger than me. So, it's just about just competing and wanting it. And I think sometimes we lose track of that when we're into our own head and we're thinking about where our hands are or where my feet need to be, instead of just going out there and competing and seeing the baseball. The best analogy I've ever heard is be the dog. When you're playing fetch with a dog, you throw the ball. What is the dog thinking about? Just the baseball, just the ball, right? And we're thinking about, money and this and that, and, how, what the girl said, or house, or, fighting with your brother, or, sister or family member. It's like, just be the dog in that situation. Just get the ball. That's it. And I think that's a really impressive mindset if you can get it at a young age.
I want to take you to Nashville. That's where you were last year, right? Jump off the chair, go get the. Let's go see that award. Let's bring it over there. So let's go and talk to the guys about where you played. So obviously you played in Nashville. What level and name of the team and everything. It's great.
So can you see it? I can't flip it.
Yeah, that's great. In a little closer, a little bit. Yeah, right there.
So pretty much, I played in Nashville. That's their AAA affiliate for the Texas Rangers. And it's a really cool guitar. And
that's great.
I was pretty much, I hit ninth the first couple of games of the season. And then from thereafter, I pretty much let off all year. Played about 120, maybe probably 127 games. I'm not too sure. I didn't miss that many games. But I got called up for a couple of days, so I missed a couple of games there. But it was a great experience in Nashville. They had about 20 or 30 sellouts, which is pretty impressive for minor league baseball. Ooh, and sorry. And it was a great field, great atmosphere. Everybody there was just really nice, and some really good food there in Nashville. Some pretty cool, interesting travel in that league. So when we play on the road, we fly, but we don't fly. We fly like commercial. So, if we have a game that day, we're waking up at 5 a.m, taking a flight, going to wherever we're going, and we're playing that day. And, I'm in the lineup every day. So, it's not like it's, flying in night before or going there night before. I mean, sometimes you don't feel great. You got to play through it. And I think I keep going back to the mindset. The mindset is, your mindset is so much more important than your skill level. I think if you go out there and you really want it, it's raining, it's cold, nobody wants to play. No, you got to have a stronger mindset than everybody else. Everybody else is cold. So how can you stick out? How can you play well when nobody wants to be there? Where it's raining, the field's wet, and you spent 4 hours in a car. You're not really feeling great. How can you get through that? How can you come up with that base hit or helping your team win? And I think thinking like that, having that kind of mindset will help you in every situation. Because there was times where I didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. after we just played a 4-hour game the night before and had a rain delay and we didn't get done until 11 p.m. Had to wake up at 5, take 2 planes to get to Iowa, and then play in 32-degree weather. Sometimes you just don't want to do it, but you got to do it, So it's just getting through that and figuring out how can I do that? How do I mentally get through this? And I think doing that and kind of talking to yourself. I talk to myself a ton and just like, come on, like nobody wants to be here. I know that everybody knows that, but you got to do this, figure out a way to do it. Figure out a way to get on base for your teammates. And I think that's a really good, like I said, I keep saying that you can get that at a young age. It's very impressive and it can help you in going to a college or making your high school team or, hopefully playing professional baseball. So just keep working on your mentality and always getting stronger. I know, everyone talks about drills and hitting, and we focus so much on hitting, but there are a lot other aspects to this game than just hitting.
Yes, it's a team game, Zach. And, like you just went into what you said about the travel and what the wear and tear on that. And it's not even normal travel. And obviously we do it for the love of the game. That's why you do it. Any guy out there does it for that. But then, for you personally and your teammates, you had a guy that's 17 years he's been doing it. So if that old guy can do it, I imagine most of you were going like, he's doing it,
Yeah, exactly. And we motivate each other. You got a guy like that. He was probably, he was a pitcher, starting pitcher for us. And he started in the bullpen and then came in as a starter, later on in the year because we had so many injuries. He pitched a complete game one time. He goes, "Hey, if you need me, I'm ready," the next day. So it's just like that type of player, that type of personality, that pumps everybody else up, and just being a good teammate is so important, and it really shows.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this year. Right now, we know we have this going on with the virus going on, and everybody's at home. Everybody's caught up and stuck in their houses, and they're having whatever kind of fun they can have. How about what's your favorite little comfort food you might have right now? Like when you're stuck, what do you like at home?
Well, my wife's a really good cook, so I'm pretty lucky when it comes to that.
Yeah, you better say that on camera.
So she cooks breakfast. And I just started grilling. We just got a grill, so I grill sometimes for dinner. And my wife is so organized, so everything is kind of like planned out for the week. We have everything like kind of planned out, so it's nice. I mean, I've always grown up eating healthy. My mom's a very healthy person, so and so is my wife. So it just makes it very easy. But my favorite thing, I love pancakes. she can hear me, so. But like I ask her every day, can we have pancakes? I love pancakes. But like chocolate chip pancakes that we had that this morning with some eggs and bacon. So my favorite part of the day is the coffee and breakfast. I love like the start of the day. So I think breakfast is the most important meal. So I always like to eat a lot in the morning. You're drinking coffee now?
It's my 5 o'clock BP coffee right now. I got my 5 o'clock coffee, fellas. My Giants mug too. So, okay, good. How about a different game, a fun game maybe you're playing at home or reading a book or something else that you might be doing? Something you haven't usually done.
Well, we just got the Peloton, so we've been messing around with that. There's a lot of cool stuff we can do with the Peloton and the we have the bike, but there's a lot of different, like today I stretched, I know we're home and we're sitting around a lot, not doing a ton. So make sure you guys are stretching because like we're going to be coming back and, hopefully this year we're coming back and you're going to be asked to just be hopping right into it. So make sure you're keeping your body ready. I know everybody's got the video games, and even today I turned them on, played a little NHL. I'm big into the NHL. I don't play Fortnite, but I play like a game or two a day now, just to help me. I'm a competitive person. I love to compete, and kind of got that taken away with the coronavirus. So that's something that I like to do, is just I like to compete, and keep my mental game strong. And I haven't been reading, but I've been reading. When I do read, I read a lot about mental books. Like the Navy SEALs and stuff like that. Just if you guys haven't even heard of David Goggins, look him up. It's something pretty special. He wrote a really good book, and I suggest that you guys start getting into it. I know it's not the most fun reading, but with the Audible now, you can listen to it and follow it along. It's some impressive stuff, and it made me want to run through a wall. And if that book doesn't get you jacked up to baseball wise, I always try to compare those type of books to me and how I can go about things, because those Navy SEAL guys, they're tough, man. Sometimes we think we go 0 for 3, the world's ending. No, I mean, there's a lot worse situations out there, and sometimes we got to look at in the broad perspective of things. And that 0 for 3, you're still going to get to eat a nice warm meal at night. So just putting that into perspective, and just strengthen your mind with reading is good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And like your comparison, Navy SEALs too. I guess right now for all of us in the time we're in, it's our nurses and health workers and all those people on the front lines. That's our Navy SEALs right now. Thanks
Yeah.
to them, we're all getting through this. So guys, we do have the chat, the message board. If you want to put something in, a question for Zach, all right, I'm going to ask Zach to talk a little bit about outfield play and something maybe that could help these guys. Whether it be reading a ball off the bat, whether it be how you read a fly ball, how you set your feet up, anything that may be involved in when a ball comes off the bat and it's on its way to the outfield.
Well, number one thing for me is always be athletic. You always want to be in an athletic position, no matter what you're doing, especially on the baseball field. So for me, I've played a lot of center. I've played all 3 outfield positions. Center field, you have the best view because, you're right behind the pitcher. You can kind of see how the hitter is, and that dictates a lot. So, I mean, as a generic standpoint, when a leadoff or a 9-hitter come up to the plate, I'll move a little up and the other way. When the 3-4 hitter come up, I'll kind of move back and pull side. And to me, I want to take away the most hits I could possibly do. So I like to play shallow. I like to take the hits away in front because I'm very good going back. I think some things that we need to figure out is that, are we better going back or are we better going in? For me, for whatever reason, I'm better going back. It's just easier for me. I don't know why, but sometimes I struggle coming in. So I'll play as shallow as I possibly can and work my way back. I'm very comfortable with the fence, and I just always know where I am. Another thing with running, we want to have the cleanest running mechanics we possibly can, because we do not want our head going up and down. I think that is so important in the outfield. Once our head is going up and down, we're losing sight of the ball. It's very hard to catch. That's why we want to clean up our mechanics. So when we're running, my head is never bouncing. My head is always straight, and I can see the ball. It makes it 10 times easier to catch. Another thing, getting behind the ball, especially with the runners on base. I always want to try to get as far back as I can and work my way towards the baseball. So I can set up, can I catch it with 2 hands, catch it, and kind of come while I'm coming forward. Never want to be catching going back, especially with runners on base, because they could always take the extra base. Now with footwork, as an outfielder, I know it could get boring sometimes. Trust me, I've had my fair share when pitchers aren't throwing strikes. No offense to any pitchers out there, but always making sure that you're ready for every pitch. Every pitch, you got to think that you're getting this ball. And if you get it, what are you going to do? I know in baseball, everybody says, "Oh, don't think." Well, if I'm not thinking, how do I know what I'm supposed to do? My mind, you should be thinking a lot when you're playing, but you just got to be thinking about the right things. If their bases are loaded and you're in center field, there's 1 out, it's a 2-run ball game and a guy hits a fly ball to you, where are you probably going with this ball? Some of you, you're probably trying to hit your cutoff man, probably going to third base to keep that runner from going to third, because that's the tying run. We don't care about the run that's about to score, So just being smart about just certain things and just thinking about what you're going to do when you get the ball. You do not want to be shocked. One of the best things I heard was last year is about being paranoid on the baseball field. Always think you're going to get the ball, and always think they're going to try to take advantage of your arm or the ball coming to you. So if you're paranoid about that, or you just thinking about that, you'll always be in the right place, because you're already ahead of the game. You're already thinking about what you're about to do with the ball. And if you don't know, ask somebody, hey, like if I, ask a coach, hey, you know what, I really don't know where I would have thrown that ball if somebody hit me the ball. And, would I have gone home with there, or should I have gone to second base? I mean, you're not going to be – there's no such thing as a stupid question, especially in the outfield. Sometimes it gets tough on what base you're going to throw it to. So I think just knowing the game as best you can will put you in better situations. And like I said, just being prepared every single pitch, thinking you're going to get the ball every single pitch, just be ready. I know it's easy to think about your at-bats when you're standing in the outfield and the pitcher's taking a long time to throw the ball, but just always just be ready and be paranoid that the ball's coming to you. Think the ball's going to constantly be coming to you, and you'll be in a good position.
Yeah, you make such great points, and it's mental preparation that you're really pointing out, that they're getting any player, they're just getting themselves prepared beforehand, so that thinking happens earlier, not happening while you're in the act of, then you actually don't know what you're doing. And that's why you've been accredited to have really good instincts, right? That's an important word, the instincts,
Yeah.
How a young player, how a young player creates those good instincts before the game is to prepare before the game, mentally go through these things and be ready for it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you should always be thinking about, pretty much everything. You could see the pitcher. The best part about hitting lower in the lineup, or like after the one hitter, is you get to see how the pitcher is attacking the hitter, especially if you're like that hitter. So when I'm not leading off, or if I'm in the 9 hole, I'll be like, or the 2 hole, well, this guy leading off probably pretty fast, similar player to me. How is he attacking him? Because he's probably going to attack me the way he is attacking him. So if especially at the younger age, you see the pitcher keeps throwing the ball away. Why are you going to look in? Why are you going to look for a thing he hasn't done all game? And I think that's so important. And talk. You guys are playing games. You're all so close. Hey, what was he doing? I saw that I saw that curveball. Is it sharp? No, it's not. It's not good at all. That's what everybody always asks me. Hey, how's this heater? How's this? How's this pitch? How's this curveball? How's this changeup? And I'll be like, hey, listen, his fastball is moving a little bit. His curveball, 12-6, not very good. And his changeup, I saw right out of his hand. Boom. Now everybody knows exactly what to expect when they come to the plate. And hey, he came in on me, but I think it was a mistake. Or he kept pounding me in. I don't think he's trying to go away. He might just trying to be getting it on my hands. So it's just certain things that you guys should be talking about as teammates, help each other out. Like I always say, if the teacher leaves the room, what are you going to do on a test? Everybody's going to help each other out, right? Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that on the baseball field? And, and it's we're all in this together, So it's like if we, when you do group work in a class, you're always helping each other, right? If we all have answers, so why don't we do that on a baseball field, right? Talk as much as you can. They should be asking you to be quiet on the baseball field. Try to have as much fun as possible. And winning is always more fun. So I think, if guys keep talking and the communication is there, you guys are going to put yourself in a good position to win the ball game.
Zach, sharing knowledge is so important, from one player to another, whether the players are the same age, whether it's an older person, a younger person, that doesn't really matter. When you have some knowledge and you share it, it just helps everybody get better when you're an immediate group, a team, you're a working component together, you know? So take us a little bit with some of the things you might remember from some of the players you've come across. You know, you were with the Twins, the Rangers, and the Yankees this year in spring training. Some of the things that maybe have left a good impression on you from some of those other guys.
So I'll kind of go through like I love the way Brian Dozier and Joe Mauer went about their business. I mean, Joe Mauer was probably one of the classiest baseball players you could ever imagine, and just his talent level. And actually, I got the chance to pick his brain for a really long time. Um, and you know, he's really one of the best guys to know in baseball because he's done it. He's done it a ton, and he's had success doing it. Those are the guys I want to talk to. You know, I learn a lot by watching and communicating. You know, I'm not one of those guys where I can feel something. You know, I could feel my hands doing this. I got to watch other people do it and practice that. And I think that's really important. And one of the coolest things I learned from the Yankees this past just in these 2 to 3 weeks that I was there um, is like being a baseball player is also a person. You know, I remember I said this to you yesterday about Brett Gardner. You know, after Derek Jeter, I became Brett Gardner was my favorite player. Kind of very similar games. And he played for the Yankees. You know, he's a winner. He came up to me, shook my hand, said my name. He's like, "Nice to meet you, Zach." And you don't really get that a ton in baseball. A lot of guys kind of keep to themselves, or just the Yankees. It's just so team oriented, and they want to win so bad. Like that is the main goal. And like that, I thought that was one of the coolest things. It wasn't like "What's up, kid?" or "What's up, bro?" Or it was like he said my name, and I just thought that was really cool because nowadays you're meeting so many people, and he didn't have to figure out what my name is. He's a 12-time big leaguer with the New York Yankees. I should be going up to him, and he came up to me, found me out, and said, "How's it going, Zach? Nice to meet you. I heard a lot of good things about you." So I just think like something like that sticks out a ton for me, and I'm sure it does to a lot of people. So I just think like just that whole process of getting to know somebody's name instead of just saying like "What's up?" or "How are you?" It's just that generic stuff. I think when you put a name to it, it just sounds better, and you look better. And I think that's what the Yankees do. They're always looking at ways to look better, and I'm I've always wanted to be a Yankee. I mean, grew up a big Yankee fan, so that's something that I took out with the limited time I had there.
I'm going to go back to some of the Yankee players in just a bit, but you just said the limited time, but that limited time was because of what's going on with the virus. Once it's
Yeah,
over, you're going back. You're a Yankee
yeah,
right now.
yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
so this is exciting for everybody listening in with it being a local team, and it's the New York Yankees. It's the number one organization in professional sports. When you found out you're on that the Yankees were interested, the Yankees made you an offer, the Yankees signed you. Now it's done. It's a done deal. What was that feeling like? Now it's the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like I said, when I was 5 years old and I had a dream that I was, wanted to play in the big leagues, I had a Yankee uniform on, the pinstripes. So when they called, I was actually pretty shocked. And I was like, yeah, like, let's go. I want to be a Yankee. So I mean, it was really cool for me. My dog's name is Jeter. So it's I've always been a big Yankee fan, and when they called and I was talking to my agent about it, it was just like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, this is something that I've wanted my whole life, and like I said, like you said, it's the best organization out there for baseball. I mean, no offense to the other organizations, but they're all trying to be like the Yankees. So for me, I thought it was a no-brainer, and there was a couple injuries in spring training, and maybe I had a chance, maybe I didn't, but just learning from the best for me, it was really important to further my career because I want to keep playing. I don't want to stop playing anytime soon. So I think it was a great choice signing with the Yankees so far, and I honestly cannot wait to get back and compete for a World Series. You know, like 'cause that's the main goal, especially when you're talking about a team like the Yankees. Is every year it's competing for the World Series.
Okay, so now let's go. You landed in Tampa. You're in Tampa, and here goes spring training. You're at George Steinbrenner Stadium, and now you're heading into the clubhouse, which our guys know probably as a locker room, but the clubhouse. You're now in there, and go ahead, take us through that moment.
It was pretty cool getting all my stuff, everything Yankees. You seeing, the pinstripes hanging up in your locker, and it was you seeing these guys that you kind of grew up watching. I'm in the same locker room as Brett Gardner. Guys I kind of played against in college. Mike Ford, who went to Princeton University, he's a Jersey guy as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Another
just
guy I
guys.
recruited, we didn't get.
So, you're seeing guys that Aroldis Chapman. We got a lot of superstars on the Yankees, and but nobody acts like it. That's the crazy part. They're like I keep saying, it's just about that one goal when you're talking about the Yankees. Even seeing Brian Cashman, I remember my whole life just watching him, bring in these players, and it was just a pretty cool feeling for me. And the big time guys, they don't play in the first game, and I got to start in center field my first game, opening day for spring training. So that was really cool. That was a pretty cool feeling, getting to jog out to the field because you do the introductions in your first game. So just the whole Yankee vibe, it's tough. But I always talk about energy. The whole energy as a Yankee is just so positive, and it's just about winning. So I loved it. And like I keep saying, I can't wait to get back just to compete.
Would you say nothing like it? There's nothing like it?
No, I had the chills, man. I'm putting on that uniform was pretty. I couldn't stop smiling. I always listen to John Sterling and Susan Waldman. And Susan Waldman was interviewing me, and she asked me, "It's like, how does it feel?" Because she knew I had a dog named Jeter. She interviewed me when I was with the Minnesota Twins. So I couldn't stop smiling, man. It's the coolest feeling in the world. It really is. Just being able to put on a baseball uniform and people come to watch you play, like, pretty special.
And now you're a teammate of those guys. So, they've got some guys who are pretty big physical stature guys, obviously, like an Aaron Judge, Aaron Judge, for example, you're saying to me right now, to all of us on the call, like, they're just guys. They're human. They're baseball players. They're just like everybody else, and they treat you that way.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're a human being. They put their pants on the same way you do. It's just that they're pretty talented. They're very very good baseball players. Aaron Judge is he's a physical freak, but he's also mentally tough. Same thing with Brett Gardner. The guy is 37 years old, and he's still in really good shape. He works out every single day. It's how bad these guys want it. So it just goes. It pushes. Everybody's pushing each other, not in like a competitive way, but like, let's all be better. So, because the main goal is to win a World Series. That's the ultimate goal for everybody. But some guys on certain teams, I'm not saying I've ever played with anybody like this, but just some guys care about their contracts, and it stinks sometimes, but I bet it happens in other organizations. But you can just see when it comes to a team like the Yankees, the main goal is about winning.
And that's the love of the game for those guys that really, really have that passion for it. And unfortunately, sometimes guys lose that, and it becomes a business. It becomes an ugly business, and
yeah,
they may not be on a team that's winning, and it's a negative feeling, negative vibe that goes around. But guys that have the energy like you have, your energy is outstanding. And obviously I got a chance to see that firsthand. I guess it was your sophomore year, or junior year?
Sophomore year, yeah, sophomore year.
2012, right? Yeah, and that hasn't gone away, and you probably have a lot more energy, now. And obviously you got to be motivated to get back out there. It sounds like you are, and it's going to be exciting, when it happens. Hopefully sometime soon.
Yeah, I love this game. There's literally nothing else I want to do, and I remember Coach Shepard yesterday talking about how much fun I have playing this game, and it's true. Like, I really do, and I'll never stop having fun. And once it stops becoming fun, that's probably when I should hang him up. But that's what I want to preach to you guys too, is like, have as much fun as possible, because there might be a day, think about if you're a high school senior, there might be a day where you can't put on the cleats anymore, or if you're not playing college baseball, or college seniors that aren't playing professionally, you never know when it could be your last day. So try to have as much fun as possible, and it'll improve your game, I promise you, because when you're smiling, you're having fun. I don't know. I've never gone off of 4, when I'm smiling and having fun, so it correlates, and just go out there and give it your best. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. There is no key. There is no secret to hitting. I mean, I can promise you. I've asked every person possible. I've asked the best hitters in the world, like, what do you do? And they give the simplest answers. I just get a good pitch to hit, and there's nothing, there's no, turn your backside. No, there is no mechanics that's going to get you to hitting 400. It's just, you have to swing a good pitches, and you have to put the barrel on the baseball. That's it. That's hitting. So there is no key. There is no secret code. It's just being very consistent, getting a good pitch to hit, and putting a good swing on the ball.
Zach, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us, buddy. That's just about, we're just about an hour on the call. And these guys, they're listening in, they're attentive to this, they're learning every day. This was a great call. And I have to say this, for us as an organization, we wish you the best of luck with moving on, because we want to see you in the Yankee pinstripes. We want to see you out there every day. That would be great, to be in the Bronx every day, sometime soon. But, from us, on our viewpoint, mine, and I know the young fellas out there are going to agree with me, like, your energy on this call is so great. Like, we want to just go out tomorrow. We wish there was a game tomorrow, a tournament tomorrow. And you pumped me up, and I can't get enough of this. And I've been doing these calls sometimes 2 times a day with different players or coaches. But, this was just outstanding. Outstanding call. Thank you so much. I don't know if any of our guys have any questions. I mean, you covered a lot, which was excellent. Not too much. I mean, we could stay on the phone for a little longer, but I don't want to keep you on the phone too much. It's been great. So really, thank you from all of us. If my man Billy could unmute everybody, I know the guys will say goodbye. They love to either wave on the camera, say goodbye to you, and thank our guests. So Zach, thank you so much for this tonight. The Jersey Giant family. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.